Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 virtual fundraiser for the Ouray Ice Festival. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to start out by thanking some of the important people at the ice park. First of all, we want to thank the board of directors. You guys keep us going. You create all of our rules, all of our funding, and everything like that. So thank you very much for your tireless efforts to the board. And we want to thank the athletes that have come here for the competition for 2021. We would not all be here without the athletes. So pretty impressive display of strength today. So we also want to thank the sponsors, all the numerous sponsors that have helped out the Ouray Ice Park and that keep us going. So your support is invaluable. Thank you very much. And also to the production crew for the competition. This has been an unprecedented new way of live streaming. So thank you very much. Cheers. To say a few more words, here is Peter O'Neill, our Executive Director.
Hi, my name is Peter O'Neill. I'm the Executive Director of the Ouray Ice Park. The Ouray Ice Park is a nonprofit organization that helps make the ice and make the climbing experience happen. So we serve, as a nonprofit organization, the climbers who come here to climb for the ice climbing season. And as a nonprofit, the only way that we can survive and make money is by donations and by members supporting us. And that's why we're asking for your support, your financial contribution to help make the ice park happen for the rest of the season and into the future, frankly. You know, 2020 has presented some very unique challenges to us and the rest of the world. If it wasn't for those challenges, we probably wouldn't be even thinking of live streaming. Actually, we didn't even know if we were going to be able to open the ice park. And then we decided, yeah, let's open it. Let's make it available to climbers. And this year we have more climbers than we've ever had. Year to date, the number of climbers in the park is up 13% over last year. So that's great. We're serving more climbers. It's more accessible to more climbers. And I think with COVID in Colorado, people are looking to be able to do more outdoor sports, have more outdoor adventures, and we're part of that trend. People want to come to the Ouray Ice Park and climb, which is fantastic. But without supporters, we couldn't make ice. Our ice ambassadors and our ice farmers really work hard to create an amazing experience for the public. And as most of you know, or many of you know, the ice park is free. We do not charge admission, but it isn't free to make the ice, which again is why we need the support of people who believe in what we do, value what we do, and want to see it continue. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the event. Please consider a donation. Please stay safe. I hope to see all of you back here again next year.
Ouray Ice Festival competition, and tonight I'm going to be talking with a few of the athletes. I'm going to have Tomas and Cody come up and answer some questions for me. Oh. All right. Welcome, Tomas and Cody. So what do you guys think about the competition, and how was it being here this year?
It was a great experience this year. This is my first time competing in Ouray, and competition was just a lot of fun. The route setting was amazing, and it just meant a lot to be here. Just being able to compete this year. I've competed the last 2 years in the UIA Ice Climbing World Cup, and unfortunately, in previous years, there's a World Cup event the same weekend as Ouray, so being able to just get this competition in this year just meant a lot, and it was a great event.
I'm definitely happy to be back. I was here, I believe, 4 years ago, and much like Tomas, I've been. Last year I was at Sosfe World Cup for the UIA, and then this year I would have been again. Sadly, there was no competition circuit for any of us, but there was definitely some great setting. And thanks very much, Marcus.
It was great to have you guys. What does this competition really mean for you guys? I mean, other than it's a great time to be here in Ouray, what do you think about the aspect and the virtual aspect of the competition?
Well, one thing that makes this competition unique is that you have to be able to climb all things, all things mixed. It's a true mixed climbing competition. You have the ice, you have the rock, and then there's the man-made structure. So being able to climb efficiently on all of those mediums makes this competition very special and very different from many of the other competitions out there.
I'm going to agree with what Tomas said, but I'm also going to add that it's really nice to come and support a small town that's willing and able to host us, which is really nice. And I also look forward to the fact that there's a speed comp.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll have a speed competition. So up next, we're going to have Angela and Kat Alina come up and have a conversation with me. Welcome, guys, or ladies, not guys. Welcome, ladies. Congratulations on today, and maybe to follow up on some questions we asked them. Both finalists in the competition. How was the multiple days of climbing, kind of tough routes day to day?
Definitely stressful, but not bad. One route a day. We're climbers. We can do it, right?
Yeah, definitely pretty strenuous by the third day, but it was a nice change in route each day, and I don't know, I could sense the improvement in myself and in my confidence as the days progressed. So it was really fun to have the qualifying format this year.
What do you guys think about the route today as far as finals, and how was your approach to it today? It was a little bit different medium, and elements were a little bit, could be sometimes a factor. How would you guys play that into your mindset?
It was definitely a surprise not climbing Mighty Aphrodite today. So that was a surprise we got last night. We were told we were climbing the ice. So it changed a little bit of the strategy. But I think being an ice climber first and foremost, that's okay. So it was good getting on the ice, and the snow made a very picturesque climb. I think it was calming.
Yeah, I completely agree. This was my first ice lead, and it was really exciting to get to do it in the Ouray competition. So really, my focus was just to try to climb confidently through the ice and not to psych myself out. And then when I got to the tower, to really just fire it and do the best that I could on the dry tooling that I had been training.
So how was the competition aspect as far as with COVID? I mean, most comps that we go to, or I've been with you guys on some comps, where it's more of a group aspect and spectators. How was it today dealing with the comp and COVID?
It was definitely different. I traveled in from Wisconsin, so trying to factor in the airports and the travel and everything, we were lucky enough to be able to get COVID tests in town, so that made us feel a little bit better going into the competition, knowing that we all had negative results and everything. And it was definitely strange not getting to hug everybody, not getting to kind of interact with spectators and your friends the same way. But so grateful that everyone made it work and was respectful of rules and regulations, and we were all willing to kind of make the sacrifices to make it work.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. Definitely sad that we weren't able to have all the spectators as usual. Would have loved for my mom to have been able to come and watch, but it was great to still have all the competitors and actually to have more competitors this year and to have people who would have normally been on the World Cup circuit now getting to come represent here. So that was really sweet. I really felt like I was climbing like in a company of like all my friends, and everybody was so encouraging. So the atmosphere was definitely still really great here, as it always is.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for talking with us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Yeah. Up next, we're going to have Glenn with his son, a longtime sponsor. Glenn has been sponsoring the Ouray Ice Festival for many years, and we're going to have a little chat with them. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Glenn. How are you doing? Yeah. How does it feel to see your son win the Ouray Ice Festival, knowing that he started really young in this event?
Incredible. Speak into the mic. It was absolutely incredible, actually. I've been coming here since the early 90s, even before the fest was really a thing, before the park was actually a thing, climbing in the backcountry around here and teaching Keenan to climb here when he was 5. His mom and I met here back in 18 years ago, so we've got a lot of history, and it's absolutely amazing today watching him climb so incredibly well.
Yeah, I kind of grew up in Ouray. I learned how to ice climb here like the year I turned 5. My mom and dad met here. Been ice climbing here forever. Like, we used to come here every winter during winter break, and then I would go back home. They would come back for the ice festival and all the parties. So it was really cool to see it kind of come full circle.
All right, I'm going to have more of a deeper question for Kenan. Is like, I've known you for quite a while, watching you grow up as a competition climber. How was it versus when we had the Durango World Cup when you competed in youth comp, and how do you feel where you are now? And what are some of the things you've taken away from years of growing up as a comp climber now?
A lot has changed since that first Durango comp. I think I placed first in that one as well, but it was just Cody Stevenson and I in the male youth division. So this is my 4th year competing in the Ouray Ice Fest competition. And going into it, all my fellow athletes, we all train together, and we're all super good friends and basically family. So we were all really gunning for that first position, and to be able to take that first position was really cool, and to see everyone else succeed and have a really good time was amazing.
So Glenn, how do you feel this event this year was good, or what do you feel like the benefits of a virtual competition was?
I think today's competition, the finals, but the last 3 days have been amazing, really incredible evolution of the competition, and I really hope everyone is tuning in and watching and enjoys the spectacle of it. But at the same time, as someone who's been to literally every ice festival except for the one the year that Keenan was born, it's really sad at the same time for me to not have 2,000 of my closest friends and other climbers here to enjoy and celebrate this with. So this is an amazing pivot, and it's a great evolution of the competition. I hope that the multi-day format, multiple competitors, bigger field, including the kicking on the competition structure, just really leveling up the competition. I hope that continues next year when we hopefully all get to be back here together with the entirety of what the Ice Fest really is, and which is a key part of why ice climbing has grown exponentially in the last last 20 years, is really 100% due to the existence of the ice park. So I hope the rest of the world gets to start coming back here on a regular basis and really enjoy the park, really enjoy the fest, and then see the competition in person, because you can't beat it.
Yeah, and I feel like Ouray's done an amazing job developing the sport, and especially the competition. Even within just the 4 years that I've competed, every single year there's been something different. Like the first year we weren't kicking in. Second year we left the structure on trapeze and swinging boxes. And then the next year there was more boxes, and this year there's an extension, and we're kicking in. So Ouray's done an amazing job, like progressing with the sport and like just inviting new people into it.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming. We love ice farmers. So ice farmers make the park. So here's a look at what they do to make this place valuable for us.
Thank you, ice farmers.
Yeah. Thank you, ice farmers.
Water is just such an amazing medium. You can just see the crystals and how they form in so many different ways, and then take that and extrapolate it to these huge cliffs. What we do here is create spray ice and probably make over 300 different climbs. My name is Alexander Bianchi, and I'm an ice farmer. We're down here in the Uncompahgre Gorge. We have a water system at the top of the gorge, these galvanized steel shower heads. And it basically just sprays water out over the cliffs, and overnight when it's cold, it forms ice along the cliffs. What we really want is a nice clean surface for the new water to come down and just keep building off of that. So a lot of what we do here actually is rappel down a lot of these faces and just try to clear that snow off, ready for the next layer. There's about 2 miles of ice if you walk the bottom of the canyon. And yeah, we farm ice all along the top of it. Being an ice farmer is kind of hard work. We're gonna open up the south valve. Sometimes I think we're no more than like glorified plumbers. Ice farming is art and engineering. I mean, the two I think are always really inseparable. You know, the engineering is the logistics. How do we get water from point A to point B? Sometimes if the valves aren't cracked quite enough, you get a little bit of a freeze up. The water just doesn't get through the valve. The remedy is a blowtorch. On the artistic side is once we have this water where we need it, how can we do something different? How can we make something interesting that, you know, we've never climbed before? It's definitely an artistic process for some of us. I grew up rock climbing, you know, fair weather climber. First time I came out here was just kind of blown away. It's so different than rock climbing. You're climbing a transient medium. The rock is always going to be there. This ice is not always there. So it creates this diversity and this intense experience that I really don't find in other facets of climbing. And that's why I'm proud to do what I'm doing.
So everybody talks about how the ice park is free, and yeah, technically we are free, as in we don't charge admission, but the park is far from being free, and it takes a lot of money to run the park, and these are some of the guys that have done it, and this is what we pay for. This is where your money goes to when you donate to the park. It goes to the ice farmers that do all the hard work of making the ice happen. And so let me ask you guys, I'm going to turn the mic over to y'all, and what is ice farming? This is something the public needs to be educated on.
We could also ask Pete this question. Pete was an ice farmer one year. I'd love to know why it was only one season.
I think we all.
And why we've all done it for Steve, this is Steve's first season. We'll see if he comes back. But what is ice farming? Lucas, would you like to answer that question?
I guess ice farming, how we usually describe it to people is we are creating frozen waterfalls where there normally wouldn't be frozen waterfalls, and maintaining an irrigation system, repairing, building, creating more, creating less, and making sure that that's running smoothly. Yeah, Tim, you want to?
I was just going to
Trace,
say it's actually
Tim?
you had something.
I started climbing here 21 years ago and was just blown away by this place. And then a couple years ago, I wanted to be a part of the action. I knew these guys for a long time. They were my friends, and I wanted to be their coworkers. And so I happened to be one of the lucky few who got a job here. So this is the best job in the world. I couldn't be anywhere else.
Come on,
Trace,
Senator.
you need to say something.
Come on, Trace.
Uh,
Why do you love ice farming?
Why do I love ice farming? Well, why do I keep coming back? Let's move to that one. Ultimately, really, it's kind of I keep coming back to be part of a community. So the Ouray Ice Park is kind of like a window into the climbing world. And we ultimately, by working here and being able to climb here and being able to grow this place, really allows us to grow a window into the climbing world for anyone, whether you're a professional, whether you're trying ice climbing for the first time. It doesn't really matter where your skill's at. It's just an opportunity to be a part of something that's really bigger and that's really special.
All right, you guys got anything else to add about ice farming? There's so much to it. Come on.
One of the hardest questions that I get all the time is what's a day in the life of the ice farmer? You know, and it's so hard to answer that question because every day you just don't know what you're going to get into. I mean, it could be frozen pipes. You could be I was thinking about what we were doing yesterday, but I mean, you know, managing the outhouses, which is kind of an archaic
very nice
way of managing those, but you know, that's part of the job too. And actually, Steve, what do you think? So Steve over here, we call him the chosen one. He's been volunteering for many, many years. So which means without pay. He's been doing like the job of an ice farmer without pay, just like so psyched to be here. And we finally got him on the crew. How do you feel about ice farming?
So ice farming to me is this crazy thing where, you know, we're pouring city water overflow over cliffs so that people can come from all around the world and come climb it. And, you know, there's no admission. The rules are very simple and straightforward. All you got to do is show up and do it. And ice farming is this crazy mix between engineering and art and manual labor, and you just pour your soul into it and, you know, pick brains, and everybody's got some crazy idea for some crazy thing, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and when they do, you just end up with these phenomenal ice flows that are world class, and people get really excited about it, and just seeing the stoke of the climbing community here is really special, and that keeps me coming back for sure.
Yeah, well said. So one of the great things about the ice park is the access that we have here, and it's the most unprecedented access of ice climbing anywhere in the U.S., possibly the world, especially top access. And that access has facilitated a really special event that we've run here at the ice park since 2006. So this would be, 13 years running now. And this is the event. This is called Paradox Ice. And this is where Paradox Sports, which is a nonprofit, which it allows, or it provides adaptive climbing opportunities for the public in defying convention and in, you know, unusual ways. So the ice park has hosted for the last 13 years a big adaptive climbing event where people with all types of physical disabilities can come into the ice park and have unbelievable experiences that they would never have otherwise. You couldn't do this anywhere else besides the ice park, and you know, some of these ice farmers have really facilitated that over the years, and we're really proud to have a venue like the ice park and an ally like the ice park to run an adaptive event for this population, for physically disabled people. And ice climbing is a very very adaptable sport, let's say, and it lends itself to adaptability. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce my good friend Maureen Beck, and she is a Paradox ambassador and a longtime ice climber, and here she is.
Hi Ice Park family, my name is Maureen Beck, and I'm an ambassador and instructor for Paradox Sports. My first event with Paradox Sports actually was in 2009 at the Ouray Ice Park. It was the first year that Paradox and the Ouray staff had decided to even attempt a large-scale adaptive ice climbing fest. I can't imagine the work that went into figuring out how to get over 20 athletes with disabilities down into the gorge, not only in a safe way, but in a way that was a crazy fun time and kept people coming back year after year. Now, over 12 years later, not only is that event still going strong, but the groundwork that event laid has been replicated at different ice parks all over the country. Had it not been for the dedication and imagination and willingness to be creative by the ice park staff, I don't think I'd be here speaking with you today. For me, that one singular event really changed the course of my life, and I'm forever grateful for that. Now, I'm not just speaking for myself when I tell you the impact that these events have had in my life, so watch this quick video for a little more behind the scenes actions on exactly who your support of the ice park helps impact. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
I've been a climber for 50 years, and I can't not be a climber.
I tackle the wall the same way everybody else tackles the wall.
Yeah, I guess it's that Marine Corps mentality. You just keep going and say, the heck with it, we're going to do it anyways.
And plus, as an amputee with a prosthetic leg on one side and a really badly damaged leg on the other, much less disabled as a climber than as a walker.
So I can do more with my stump sometimes than I can my hand because I don't have fingers to get tired.
Paradox Sports is an organization that creates adaptive climbing communities for individuals with physical disabilities. We have individuals that have everything from missing limbs to neurological disorders to...
From people that are deaf, to people that are blind, to people that are burned.
Nice. But the central theme is it's individuals who love the outdoors and they're looking for a community.
Climbers. And my friends kind of put me up to it. They're like, you should do it, you should do it. And so I was surprised that I started climbing, and here I am. And I didn't realize that I'm kind of a natural climber because I picked up the ice climbing so quickly.
You know, climbing is all about problem solving, and it's fun to figure out how to move and how to make it work, how to figure it out.
When I'm on the ice, just pretty much forget about losing my leg and trying to pull the next move.
Just gotta loosen it up a little bit.
This is what I love to do. That's why I'm here. I love a good challenge, and it's just awesome. It really pushes myself to, try harder, keep going. I actually don't even use any adaptive equipment to climb.
Killing it.
It's the only sport I've ever participated in where I don't need something adaptive.
It's a challenge for me. I have cerebral palsy, which means my whole entire right side is partially paralyzed. And it makes it harder to find a way to get to the top.
So I'm focusing on one thing, analyzing the ice, thinking about my form, and knowing that I'm kind of struggling with the ice. But I love to be challenged.
It may not necessarily be graceful or easy, but somehow they want to get to the top and they figure it out.
After being injured, it was my exposure to Paradox Sports that got me out doing other things,
I think Paradox is a great group. They do a really good job of really tailoring the experience to each individual.
And Paradox is like, come with us to learn how to do it, and then you can go and do it by yourself too. Now I'm actually able to go out climbing without Paradox, but I choose to go climbing with Paradox.
And I've never met a group of people that are less disabled than all of the amputees and disabled people here.
We don't ask them what they lost. We ask them what they got. We say, show me what you got. Let me see what you can do. I don't care what you can't do. I don't care what you don't have. Let's get climbing. Let's see what we can do. Climb as much as you can. We celebrate what you got. We forget about what you don't have.
Welcome back. So the Ouray Ice Park is such a historic venue. Since the late 1970s, every single big name in ice climbing has come through this place, more or less. And they've all, contributed to this place, and this place is just thick with history, and everybody that's come through here has raised the bar and contributed to climbing in general. And so this place just, it's so important to really the ice climbing world. It's raised the bar on so many different levels. So I think that's an important point to bring up. And, basically with modern day climbing becoming so popular and with climbing gyms pumping out thousands of new climbers every day across the country, the Ouray Ice Park has evolved, it has changed, and we're in changing times right now. But if, we are going to remain sustainable as a climbing community and one of the best climbing resources in the country, we need some funding, and we need your help as climbers here in the ice park. And, it takes an army and it takes community to make this place run. So, I just want to pass it off to some of the ice farmers and let them let you know how much it means to us and the support that we need.
Thanks, Pete. I just got to tell you all out there, I'm sure most of you that are watching this really want to be here in town with us right now. Gosh, we're really missing you all today. It was, we had a wonderful day, wonderful few days working and watching the competition, but my goodness, folks, it's so different without you here. Town is quiet. We're not being able to go out and have fun with you guys in the evening. We're not able to crack a few beers and share some laughs. So we're really missing you guys a lot. We need your help now more than ever to keep this place the premier, as Pete said, the premier ice climbing venue in the world. And we need your help to keep it the best that it is and make it better. Trace?
Due to the pandemic, we have completely had to change the way that we operate ordinarily. And ultimately, that does come at a cost. And with a different version of Ice Fest this year, a virtual version of Ice Fest, it doesn't bring in the revenue that it ordinarily brings in. And we kind of want to share how we feel about this place, and ultimately the ice park is more or less part of a community, and we are really asking that you not only contribute to the ice park, we're asking you to contribute to a community in general, not only just the ice climbing community but the greater climbing community in general. And what we're looking for is just to find a way to adapt to these times. And if there's any way that we could find your support in order to be able to help us continue to operate, continue to allow people to have the ice park experience, and ultimately become a part of our community. Thank you.
Any other ice farmers have anything to add to that?
I'll add something.
Please do, Lucas.
We've asked you guys for whatever you can give, and that's excellent. But we'll give you something with the help of our dear, dear friend, also past ice farmer. He's got a great head of hair. He's got a great beard. He does, right? Yeah. Yeah. Steve, you guys have touched beards. Probably a transcendental moment for all who witnessed. Coming to you from, man, he's all over the place. He lives in Alaska and Los Angeles. Born in Colorado, Breckenridge. My favorite comedian of all time, especially with an alliteration for a name. Please welcome Monty Montapar.
Hello, everyone. I am Monty Montapar. I have been the MC and resident comedian at the Ice Fest for the last few years. Why do you need a comedian at an ice climbing festival? Because if ice climbing is anything, it is hilarious. I grew up in Colorado. I lived in Alaska for 15 years, and then 5 years ago I moved to Los Angeles. Did you feel that? Colorado. Oh, cool. That's where I virtually am right now. Alaska? Hey, I bet this guy knows that dude. Los Angeles? We thought you were cool. Why'd you do that to us? I guide ice climbing trips in Alaska, and guiding can be a hard thing to explain to normal people. But almost everybody has waited tables, and guiding is like waiting tables. If the people you're serving have never eaten food before and are pretty afraid of food, and you have to go and cook the food and then come and eat with them, and when it's spicy and burns their mouth, you explain to them that some discomfort is part of the experience. I am usually coming to you live from the Uncompahgre Gorge. But this year I'm coming to you pre-recorded from the Unfinished Garage. But everybody at the fest wanted me to keep the jokes flowing, because if there's anything that's funnier than ice climbing, it's a global pandemic. And I don't know about you, but I am over getting emails telling me these are trying times. It's like when your climbing partner tells you it's windy. Yeah, dude, I know. I'm right here. This whole year has felt like limbo. And then a few months ago, my apartment building in Los Angeles got sold and I moved to actual limbo. St. George, Utah. Right between Salt Lake and Las Vegas. Mormon heaven and hell. My partner and little dog haven't laughed at any of my jokes in months. The introvert and extrovert inside me haven't spoken to each other since the fight they had this fall. And I'm so starved for human connection that the other day I tried to say hi to someone by putting my cursor next to theirs on a Google Doc. You'd think I'd be coping better. Ice climbers operate at a distance from society pretty often. And wear a face covering, limit the number of people you hang out with, outside is better, is a pretty good description of most of my productive ice climbing seasons. But I miss Ouray, I miss the yearly pilgrimage and the people and the crowds. And I hope everyone that's been saying that the Ice Festival is too busy is happy now. But I miss my visits to Ouray. I miss staying at the Ouray Chalet. It is the only chalet I frequent. I miss the Wee Spot and Vapor Caves. It's like where Bilbo met Gollum if it was warm. You have to be familiar with Ouray and The Hobbit to get that joke. I miss the chicken pot pie in a paper cup from the Red Mountain Brewery food tent. The filling reminded me of my childhood, and the puff pastry reminded me that I frequent a chalet. Big shout out to the ice farmers, probably having the season of a lifetime, 2020 infrastructure, 1990 crowds. I was an ice farmer back in the day for a season at the ice park. And let me tell you, there's nothing like the smell of municipal water in the morning. But being an ice farmer is a tough gig. You don't get any acceptance from other farmers. For the most part, farmers don't like ice. And there's no government subsidy for thin ice years. And farmers only might as well be called ice farmers not welcome. It's also a job you have to explain even though you know people are not going to understand it. Yes, my job is to create and manage a series of man-made ice climbs by regulating the flow and direction of water in a 2-mile section of gorge for winter recreational climbing. I think what we need to do is change the name, like when Subway went to Sandwich Artist. But ice artist has kind of got ice sculptor, ice dancer vibes. So, and hang with me on this, I think we should change the name to Sandwich Farmer. I know it doesn't make any sense, and you would have to explain it to everybody and they still wouldn't get it. But that's how it already is with ice farmers. So you're not gaining or losing anything there. And other farmers would automatically love you because everybody loves a sandwich. And government sandwich subsidies sounds realistic. And sandwich farmer on farmers only? You better be ready to settle down and have a family before you post that profile. You know what I mean? And yeah, sure, at some point, maybe it's second date over fries. Maybe it's first year anniversary of dating, the one you disregard after you get hitched. Maybe it's a couple years after your second kid, you know, when you're remodeling and living on a piece of property that their parents gave you on the old family ranch. At some point, you are going to have to explain that what a sandwich farmer actually does is create and maintain a series of man-made ice climbs by regulating and directing water flow in a 2-mile section of gorge for recreational climbing during the winter. But like I said, you already had to do that when you were just called Ice Farmer. And you didn't have this beautiful family and these couple wonderful children and this piece of land that you could call your own. Just an idea, not attached to it. As you can tell, I have been spending entirely too much time by myself. You can send your condolences to my partner and small dog. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed watching the comp. It is really incredible to be part of this big climbing community, even if it is from farther than we are all used to it. I love you, Ouray. I love you, sandwich farmers. And I'll see you all in the frozen halls of glory sooner than later. Take care of yourselves and everybody else.
All right. Thank you, Monty. That was hilarious. And thank you, Sandwich Farmers. We appreciate you being here. And I just wanted to, remind everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the ice park. We couldn't do it without you. And just remember that you could support us for 1 year as a member. And there is a little box on your website right there, kind of behind the video that you're viewing right now, that you can click on and become a member. And for the price of a membership, it costs less. It's less than half the price of a lift ticket to Telluride for 1 day, and you can support us for the entire year. So think about that, give you some perspective. We could use your help, and we really appreciate you, and we love you. And here is Peter O'Neill for a few more words. He is our executive director. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Pete. yes, we need your help more than ever this year. Hate to harp on it, but it's very true. Nothing in this world is free. The ice is free. You can come and climb for free, but it's not free to make ice, and that's why we need your support this year. So on behalf of everyone here at the ice park, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We want to see you again here in person next year or on the live stream watching next year, because we will be live streaming it again next year. Have a great night.
Bump it.
Bump it. All right, everybody. Boom, 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 boom.